problem.
Hi, good night, everybody.
Today we are going to present our second day session. And the last day I talk with about global warming and climate change. Have you finished your assigned task? Hello?
Hello, this is my first time joining in the class, and I've been trying to follow with the emails, but I'm not aware of the assigned task.
Okay, no problem. But I want to say the other participant, please response. Have you completed the case study of your country that the last 5 years trend of carbon dioxide emission and how the trend with the change of carbon dioxide concentration, temperature? Hello?
I'm working on it.
So you finish? Can you present now?
Yet, not yet.
Okay. Not yet. But my session today, just up to 12 in Thailand time. That means today's session is, from my part, is 3 hours. So actually, training program actually need some two-way communication, that I am just telling and you just receive some information, that it is one-way communication. So if you cooperate me, then the training will be fruitful, because this is the aim of training, that you share something, we share something, and after that we get some knowledge about this particular issue. Anyway, after the first 1 hour, I try to deliver my speech. After that, we take a break, and please remember it. You have to present whatever you did. No problem. Just you have to present. Okay, na?
Hello, sir.
You understand everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, can I just ask, since it was just given yesterday, and I think it needs some time for
It's
other
actually it's just one slide or two slide. It just one slide or two slide. You think that
Okay.
you have to present. You say that you are the country representative from your country. You are the valued participant. So you have to know about your country information. That right now, the last 5 years, what happened in your country, that the greenhouse emission, how much the greenhouse emission, especially the carbon dioxide greenhouse gas, and what are the trend of this carbon dioxide emission last 5 years, and how the temperature rise or fall or fluctuate, so that it is the message, this is the message that you gain from this 2 days training session, and you can give this message to your authority or to your future activities. What I want to say, because this is the second day, and from me, today is my last day, the session. So if you cooperate, I know that this result have published in online or in book, journal, papers. I know it. It has the document, but I want to know that you get some information from these 2 days, that you have a good, clear, and distinct concept about this global warming, especially carbon dioxide and the temperature in your country. Okay, anyway, I hope that you all present after my session. Thank you and welcome again to join the second day training on global warming, mitigation and adaptation by balancing sustainable energy management. Global warming, climate change. Yesterday we talked about how the global warming occurred in our planet due to the responsible of greenhouse gases and how the climate actual change. The mitigation and adaptation, these are the two ways we can serve our planet to reback in a good environment. The human activities, especially the burning of fossil fuel, that we talk about the fossil fuel burning, how the fossil fuel contribute emission of greenhouse as warm the earth by the dramatically increasing the concentration of heat trapped gases in the atmosphere. The more of these gases humans put into the atmosphere, the more the earth will warm in the decade and continue ahead. The time of warming can already be observed in many places, from rising sea levels to melting snow and ice to changing weather pattern. Climate change is already affect our ecosystems, freshwater bodies, water supplies, and especially the human health. The challenge of confronting the impact of climate change is often formed in terms of two potential paths, that are mitigation and adaptation. So the first one is mitigation. Mitigation actions to reduce greenhouse gas emission. Here we can do this because the human activities are directly involved to the emission of greenhouse gases, and we can reduce it, enhanced by things aimed at reducing the extent of climate change. It involves into two ways. That means emission reductions, another thing geoengineering, somehow offsetting the effect of greenhouse gas emission. And the second one, adaptation. Adaptation initiatives and measures to reduce the vulnerability of natural and human systems against actual and expected climate change effects. There is a flow chart that how we involve to mitigation and adaptation. Actually, mean the human interference we can mitigate, we can do for climate change, including vulnerability. These five outer box, the core linking each other, mitigation of climate change via greenhouse gas sources and sinks. We are directly actively participate in this portion, and also in policy response and adaptation. This is also correlated with impact and the vulnerabilities. Here expose initial impact of effects, autonomous adaptation and residual or net impact. And all through this box are involved with climate change as well as the policy response. So, from this follow chart, we can see that there is many way by which we can control to emission the dangerous greenhouse gas into the atmosphere. And another, we can adaptation in different everyday to day activities that can also help to change, uh, help to protect our planet in terms of global warming. Now, I want to show you a video clip.
The effects of climate change are already causing big impact in many places. Examples include melting glaciers and permafrost, increasingly frequent droughts, seasonal changes, increased rainfall, and so on. Therefore, in the face of these adversities, action is taken to mitigate the impacts but also to adapt to them. Despite the efforts and achievements in climate change mitigation, the growing challenges of adaptation in front of the impacts and the growing importance of taking action to address and tackle these problems have become increasingly visible. So, therefore, we have two courses of action. Mitigation, that is based on reducing by avoiding greenhouse gas emissions as much as possible, and therefore stopping on reducing the rise in global temperatures that we are suffering. To get an idea of mitigation actions that are being carried out, the replacement of fuel by renewable energies, the promotion of models to reduce dioxide carbon emissions in industries, tree planting or forest surface recovery to store more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, tech innovation, improvements to carry out processes in the most efficient way as possible, electric cars, among many others. The other way would be taking adaptation measures in front of the climate change that look for changes in our behavior, society systems, technology, our economies, and the environment in which we live, in order to cope with the impacts of climate change. The adaptation actions that have been carried out, among others, are construction walls, other lifting structures in order to adapt to sea level rises, control fires to prevent the uncontrolled ones from happening, much more efficient purification and recovery systems of water in areas suffering from droughts, promote the cultivation of drought-tolerant crops, among others. In the face of climate change crisis, it is interesting to see what actions the EU has taken in making climate change policies, to understand the current situation and to see what actions need to be promoted and carried out. When it comes to developing adaptation policies, the EU has a long way to go, as in the past it has relied mainly on pursuing mitigation strategies, badly or poorly combined with adaptation, which have not been a priority, and this needs a change. Mitigation actions and adaptation actions have recently begun to be coordinated more efficiently. Mitigation measures, although they still need to be improved, but are already getting positive results in recent years, especially in the anthropogenic reduction of CO2 emissions, thanks to trading systems such as carbon taxes or fines that also generate money, in which the idea is to be used for climate change mitigation and adaptation purposes. They all make companies invest in low carbon businesses, so it's an improvement. On the other hand, in order to avoid degradation and fragmentation of habitat, work must be done, as there is clearly an economic and interest influence that often continues to prevail over the real needs of the ecosystems. As for adaptation measures, there's still a long way to go. They seem to be less needed than the rest, and initially the EU made each country responsible for the adaptation to be taken. which seems to be changing because an increased control and coordination between states is starting to work out, as they have committed to be spending at least 20% of EU budget on actions that have direct or indirect link to climate change. In addition, a system for monitoring EU budget expenditures has been set up to ensure this goal. This is particularly important as these funds most commonly are going to regions less wealthy than the EU average. With this collaboration, there is more effectiveness in tackling the climate change emergency.
This is. Thank you to watching this video. This video focus on two special factors: the mitigation and adaptation. Globally, worldwide, every important person try to concentrate in this particular issue, how to reduce the greenhouse gas emission in our atmosphere, and how we can adapt our daily life that can indirectly help to reduce these gases and check the global warming situation and can save our environment. Some terms relevant with the mitigations, and some of are directly both in two sides, mitigations and adaptations, and some are directly in adaptation. First of all, the mitigations, we can use the sustainable transportation. The next one, energy conservation. These two are very vital for the mitigating of greenhouse gases. Building code changes to improve energy efficiency, renewable energy. Now the world actually is looking on this issue, renewable energy. This is most important part to reduce the noxious greenhouse gases in our atmosphere that are directly involved in global warming and climate change. And the next one, expand deep lake water cooling, improve vehicle fuel efficiency, and capture and use landfill and disaster gases. These all through actual mitigation process by which we can reduce greenhouse gases emission in our atmosphere. Another part, adaptation, we can adapt in infrastructure upgrades, residential programs, health programs, emergency and business country planning, help for the vulnerable people. This both sides also involved with these technologies of renewable energy, geothermal, solar thermal, district heating, building design for natural ventilation, tree planting and care, local food production, water conservation, and finally green roof. This is actual outlook, an overview of mitigation and adaptation of global warming climate change, so that we can re back in our previous environment. The environment is sustainable for us, for living, for doing, for sustain our everyday life. First of all, the sustainable transportation. Actually, the transportation, yesterday we see the fossil fuel burning mainly involves with the transportation, gas, petroleum, and this we, by replacement of this fossil fuel burning, we can use sustainable transportation. Sustainable transportation concerns systems, policies, and technologies. It aims for the efficient transit of goods and services and sustainable freight and delivery systems. The design of vehicle-free city planning. A couple of weeks ago, the countries Saudi Arab, they announced about this, the design of vehicle-free city planning. Anyway, along with pedestrian and bicycle-friendly design, actually this type of transportation we look in European countries. The is a critical aspect for grassroots activities as are telework and teleconference. Anyway, the figure here, the showing climate mitigation by all four sectors involved in sustainable transportation, urban planning, sustainable tourism, energy efficiency, and climate mitigation. A more sustainable transportation system is one that allows the basic assess the development needs of people to be met safely and promotes equity within and between successive generations. This is a social dimension, is affordable within the limits imposed by internalizations of external costs, operates fairly and efficient, and foster a balanced regional development. Economic dimension limits emission of air pollution and greenhouse gases as well as waste and minimize the impact on the use of land and generation of noise. In conclusion, low carbon sustainable transport reduce short and long term negative impacts on the local and global environments, has economically viable infrastructure and operation, provides safe and secure access for both persons and goods. We can, in case of sustainable transport, we can use avoid or reduce. We can avoid our private car by chance of bus transportation. We can reduce that. We can use a bicycle or eco-friendly vehicle, and we can shift. And another thing we can improve, reduce or avoid travel or on the need to travel. Integration of transport and land use planning, smart logistic concepts. Shift to more environmentally friendly modules, transport demand management. Mode shift to non-motorized transport, mode shift to public transport. Improve in the energy efficiency of transport modules and vehicles technology. Low friction lubricants, optimal tire pressure, low rolling resistance tire, speed limits eco driving, and shift to alternative fuels. Sustainable transportation, eco mobility, integrated environmentally sustainable form of mobility combines non-motorized means of transport with the use of public transport, allows everybody to move in their local environment, reduce the use of privately owned motorized vehicles, and non-motorized transport includes walking, cycling, wheeling, wheelchair non-motorized scooters, walking aid, skates, push scooters, trailers, handcrafts, shopping carts, trolleys, carrying aids. These are the non-motorized transport. We can use public transport includes buses, trams, subways, light rail, trains, ferries, collective taxis, and taxis if low emission. Here I put two recent innovation in sustainable transportation. One, hydrogen power tram, and another is prototype solar power assist for buses. These two technologies are highly environment friendly and they play a vital role for the reducing of greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. In term, look 2 years of research and development are complete and will be powered entirely by hydrogen fuel cells. Since this is a tram and not a train, the top speed will only be 70 kilometers per hour and it will be used in urban areas only. It is designed to carry 380 passengers. This technology developed by China and they already adapt in their country. Another, the California-based manufacturing company Sunport Inc. They produce modular, fully integrated and tested solar power generation systems. Recently, they have come out with an idea of the first solar power assist system for bus. We can introduce this technology in our transportation system, and this is the crying need right now. Policies. In case of sustainable transportation, we can use different policy based on the basic principles, advanced and luxury package. Basic principles for the implementation of low-income countries, advanced the developed countries, and the luxury package for the developed countries. What we can do, removal of fuel subsidies, remove incentives for non-sustainable transport modules, especially the vehicles use high fossil fuels and emit a huge amount of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. We can add this for this issue. Fuel taxation above European minimum taxation level give incentives to travel less, use low carbon modules and purchase fuel efficient vehicles. Next one, number 3, low carbon long distance infrastructure earmark a considerable share to the transport investment in the low carbon modules. Actually, in case of animal transportation, we use the lorry, truck or van. These are the high production greenhouse gas vehicles. The production of animal from one place to the transportation of animal from one place to another place, we use this type of equipment. So we can reduce the greenhouse gas by applying this policy. Efficiency standards regulate car produce and correct market failures, removal of further car oriented subsidies, incentive programs for municipalities, vehicle registration tax, license, auctioning, low carbon fuel standards, research, develop and demonstration. Actually, these are, we can apply this policy into the sustainable transportation. We are trying to say about the sustainable transportation. Hello everyone, you are joined. Hello, I want to, hello.
Hello, sir.
Thank you so much for patiently hearing. Before break, actually, we tried to say about the sustainable transportation. Due to transportation is a crucial factor in our daily activities. If we change our movement in a sustainable way, then we can save as much as greenhouse gas emission. The next important point in sense of mitigation of global warming and climate change, this is energy conservation. Right now, we are looking in this issue. Energy conservation refers to efforts to reduce energy consumption. Actually, every day, every person consumes energy in daily activities. If we make a plan to reduce the energy consumption, that cumulatively save a lot of energy. Energy conservation can be achieved through increased efficient energy use or reduced consumption from non-renewable energy sources. Energy conservation also often the most economic solution to energy shortage. The flow figure, actually I'm trying to show the linking of energy conservation. That means there is a different way or types or patterns by which we can conserve the energy power, and this importance to energy conservation, that is sustainable development and vice versa global warming. That means if we conserve our energy and then reduce a less amount and reduce the greenhouse gas emission and then less global warming. In this case, government initiatives for energy conservation. These three important are linking with sustainable development as well as the global warming climate change. And we can, actually this is the figure we are looking this environment all around our globe. This is our expected environment that we live frequently without hassle, without any trouble. That right now we are facing a critical environment all around the world. You know, we are locked down due to COVID pandemic. this COVID pandemic actual not happen by chance. It happened due to our daily activities. Anyway, in today's world, energy is not only the future, it drives everything in the present. As a global society, we generate and use more energy than ever before. Actually, we use currently the largest quantities of energy, and the demand for energy is continually increasing. Day by day, its demand increasing. While we have been able to expand energy production to keep up with demand, there are physical, geographical, and economic limits to how much can be produced. What's more, greenhouse gas emissions that accompany many forms of energy generation, such as using fossil fuels for electricity, are accumulating in the atmosphere, bringing the potential for climate related consequence. This is especially true for fossil fuel, including natural gas, petroleum, coal. One of the way to deal with the constantly expanding need to energy and the issues it brings is to focus on energy conservation. This is a term that has been discussed at great length recently in the newspapers, in the social media, in the academic articles. There are different possible way by which everyone conserve the energy in their own field, in their own environment. First of all, improving energy efficiency. Secondly, waste prevention. And finally, optimum utilization of energy resources. So, what are the improving energy efficiency? We can use LED lights instead of incandescent lights. This is because LED lights save about 25% of energy as compared to incandescent lights, which save only 10%. Replacing conventional coal plant with superficial one, as the latter are 45% more efficient than their basic counterparts. Waste prevention, we can do switching of electricity and appliances when no need to use. Just we need some conscious awareness, with some good thinking. Substituting old socket with new ones, because the old sockets actually needs more energy. Using smart grid technologies, these are the, and there are many other also waste preventions. Among them, these are three are important. Finally, optimum utilization of energy resources, appropriate infrastructure of industrial, office or private buildings, the right selection of building materials, green buildings, optimization for renovating residential area and environmental surroundings, reductions in energy and water uses via green building initiative. The next point in mitigation, building code changes to improve energy efficiency. We can use different pattern of building relevant terms that can reduce the excess use of energy, and we can say conserve our energy. And these are the urban planning, new buildings, building operations, systems, materials, resilience, and clean energy. What we can do for urban planning? We can use urban planning policies to enable reduce energy demand, increase renewable energy capacity, and improve infrastructure resilience. New buildings, increase uptake of new buildings with net zero operating emissions. Buildings, retrofits, increase the rate of building energy innovation and increase the level of sustainability in existing buildings. Buildings operations, reduce the operating energy and emissions through improved energy management tools and operational capacity buildings. Systems, reduce the energy and emissions needed for equipment, appliances, lighting, and cooking. Materials, reduce the environmental impact of materials and products in buildings and construction by taking a life cycle and circular economy approach. Reduce building risks related to climate change through building design, selection of materials, and improving resilience to structural water and heat risk. Clean energy, increase secure, affordable, and sustainable energy and reduce the carbon footprint of energy demand in buildings. Actually, nowadays, most of the person try to shift in urban area. The industrializations globally increasing the GDP, people make their life involving in urban environment, and they try to lead a faster life. Due to the migration of people rural to urban area, the pressure on urban, especially the building sectors, emissions, carbon dioxide, huge quantities. So this is the crucial thinking when we make a design in our buildings in urban environment. If we follow these techniques and we can apply these relevant factors, then easily when we compare with the traditional one and this type of buildings, we can find a big difference of energy utilization, and this energy saving energy actually help to mitigate the emission of greenhouse gas in our atmosphere. Our planet actually nowadays looking on this issue, the renewable energy. Actually, the energy that that emit zero carbon dioxide or less greenhouse gas, and this renewable energy totally help in different aspect. This is eco-friendly, and this is the time demanding, and this renewable energy can help us our natural fossil fuels using. That means there is a limit of energy in the fossil fuel or natural coal gas mining. If you use this renewable energy, in chance we can save this energy also, and vice versa, we help our environment by reducing the greenhouse gas, the final target, less global warming, climate change, and this all around we need this technology. Renewable energy includes renewable energy can be generated continuously, particularly without decay of source. The first of all, solar energy. Secondly, we can say wind energy or wind power, geothermal energy, and hydro energy. The pie chart, there is some renewable energy. The sources of renewable energy, we can directly use our sunlight and convert into energy by solar system. Wind power, the natural wind, these are the source of renewable energy by wind power turbine, and we can use the hydropower. These are also used for the eco-friendly energy, and geothermal and biomass. Statistics showed that all renewable energy sources installed capacity trained during 2021 to 2020. Alhamdulillah, it is a good scenario that all around the world in every year it increase continuously in every sector. Hydropower, wind, solar. Solar power, we see the solar power actually sharply increase 2011 to 2012, and finally 2020 it is triple than 2021. And another marine energy also less in geothermal, just slightly increased in geothermal pattern. According to data released by the International Renewable Energy, the world added more than 260 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity compared to last year, which was more than 176 gigawatt compared to 2019. We hope and we expect that this year it will increase more, and in the next 5 or 10 years this renewable energy can serve a good magnificent outcome in the energy sector that we are looking in the next. Renewable energy, solar. Solar power is energy from the sun that is converted into thermal or electrical energy. Solar energy is the cleanest and most abundant renewable energy source available. Solar technologies can harness this energy for a variety of uses, including generating electricity, providing light or a comfortable interior environment, and heating water for domestic, commercial, or industrial use. The solar energy over the interior, on average for the whole city, the thermal solar panels would produce approximately 265 megajoule per year per meter square of buildings, and the PV panels 113 megajoule per year per meter square of buildings. What I say in the previous slide, that in 2021 to 2020, sharply increase this renewable energy system, because this is a very easy, simple technology. We can use our sunlight into direct convert into energy. And now I want to show a video clip.
The sun. Every day, the sun shines more than 3 trillion watts of free energy on the earth. That's enough energy to power over 3 million homes for an entire year, being produced every day. Solar panels harness the energy and convert it into clean electricity to power our homes, businesses, and lifestyles. Light from the sun stimulates electrons on a solar panel. These electrons create DC, or direct current electricity. Solar electricity travels from the panels on your roof through an inverter to the circuit breaker panel of your building. An inverter changes DC electricity into usable AC, or alternating current electricity, before sending it to the breaker panel of your building. Your home uses that electricity to power the electronic devices we use every day. It's like having your own power plant on your roof with an endless supply of clean energy. Anytime the panels are producing more energy than you are using, like sunny days when you are on vacation, the excess energy is sent back to your utility company, where they are required to buy back your excess electricity at the same rates they would normally charge, a concept called net metering. The utility company purchases your excess solar electricity and sells that energy to homes and businesses in your neighborhood. Even homes and businesses that do not have solar panels are still buying your excess solar electricity. When the sun goes down, your home or business purchases electricity from your local utility company the same way it has in the past. However, credits from your excess solar energy produced during the day will offset nighttime charges, which are much cheaper than peak daytime rates. This maximizes your savings through time of use billing, where you are selling energy to the utility during daytime peak hours while buying energy during nighttime off-peak hours. Instead of buying electricity from a power plant that burns coal and other pollutants, you are taking advantage of the free, abundant energy of the sun. As energy rates continue to go up, your system produces clean, renewable energy at no cost to you. Now you get to choose how much to spend on electricity. Imagine if we could do that with gasoline prices. Today, there are some incredible incentives and rebate to help pay for solar installation. Finance programs can help you install panels for as little as $500 down. Increase the value of your home or business by reducing your energy costs. Businesses will increase profits, while homeowners will increase their home's market value. Help save the environment and reduce global warming.
Now, I try to say something about the advantages of solar energy. Solar power is pollution free and causes no greenhouse gases to be emitted after installation. Reduce dependence on foreign oil or fossil fuels. Renewable clean power that is available every day of the year. Even cloudy day produce some power. Return on investment unlikely paying for utility bills. Virtually no maintenance, a solar panel lasts over 30 years. Creates jobs by employing solar panel manufacturers, solar installers, and in turn helps to the economy. Excess power can be sold back to the power company if grid int- integrated. Availability to leave grid free if all power generated provides enough for the home or building. Can be installed virtually anywhere in a field to on a building. Use barriers to store extra power for use at night. Solar can be used to heat water, power homes and buildings. Even power cars suffer than traditional electric current. Safer, it is safe uh, than the traditional electric current. Efficiency is always improving. So the same size solar that is available today will become more efficient tomorrow. Aesthetics are improving, making the solar more versatile compared to other models. Printing flexibility solar of federal grants, tax incentives, and rebate programs are available to help with the initial cost. No trenching is needed since the solar can be close to or the place installed. Actually, this is a smart technology. And this technology we can use everyone in our own place. Nowadays, the scientists are trying to set this solar plant into the ocean. They can produce directly electricity. And we can adapt this technology, and this technology help us a more in sense of reducing the greenhouse gas emission in the atmosphere. The next one is wind energy. How we can use the wind into energy. This energy can help us a lot in energy sector. Wind power generation means getting the electrical energy by converting wind energy into rotating energy of the blade and converting that rotating energy into electrical energy by the generator. Wind energy increase with the cube of wind speed. Therefore, wind turbine generation systems should be installed in the higher wind speed area. Actually, the flow diagram showing how to wind convert into our energy. This is a technique. There is a blade hub system, and this system actually placed where the available wind, and it needs a wind speed that the wind speed move the turbine, and the turbine actually convert the wind into our energy. Sorry, a minute. What are the benefits of wind power? It is estimated by the American Wind Energy Association that the use of US wind turbines may reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the air by 1/3. Significant result. Homeowners by law can sell excess wind energy back to the utility companies. Wind energy replaces electricity from coal-fired power plants and thus reduce greenhouse gases that produce global warming. The coal power plant actually emits a huge amount of greenhouse gas. We can replace this coal power plant into a wind power. Farmers can still use the land to grass cattle and receive land use royalties that have increased their land values. Farmers can also get benefit from this wind power also. Another renewable source of energy is geothermal power. Geothermal power is an independent and stable power generation system that utilizes the thermal energy of the Earth's magma. Different from generation by solar power or wind power, which is affected by seasonal and weather factors. But in case of geothermal power, utilizing the stable thermal energy of the magma is free from seasonal and weather factor and offers stable and sustainable power generation. This is a smart technology, sustainable technology, and continuous energy flow technology. Now, the advantages of geothermal power: comparatively ecologically clean, more energy, stable prices, low operating cost, renewable and sustainable sources, permanent power supply. The comparatively ecological clean includes, unlike coal-fired power plants, geothermal ones use a renewable heat source with a constant supply. Studies have shown that only 6.5% of the total world potential is involved in this industry, which means that energy will last for many years in advance. In addition, the amount of greenhouse gas from geothermal power plants is only 5% in the contrary with coal-fired power plants. Next, more energy. Actually, this geothermal renewable and power energy system gives more energy. Geothermal power station have great capacity. They can help in meeting the demand for energy that grows every year, both in developed and developing countries. Stable price. Simple power plants depend on fuel, so the cost of their electricity is varying based on the market price of fuel. Since geothermal power plants do not use fuel, they do not need to take into account its costs, and they can offer their customers stable electricity cost. Low operating cost. Geothermal installations require minimum maintenance compared to conventional power plants. As a result, they are reliable and cheap in operation. Renewable and sustainable source, geothermal energy will never end, unlike non-renewable energy sources. As long as the earth supports our lives, geothermal energy will exist and geothermal power will work. This is important advantages. Permanent power supply, unlike other renewable energy sources, geothermal, one can provide a constant supply of energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year, regardless of external factors. For example, solar panels can produce electricity only during the day, and wind turbine produce energy only the sufficient wind. Next one, hydropower. The hydropower generates power by utilizing the energy of water falling from a higher position of a lower position. One of these hydropower generation systems in a pumped storage system, which pumps up water from a lower reservoir to a higher reservoir during off-peak hour and generates power by dropping water from the higher reservoir to the lower reservoir during peak hours. This technology actually supply of many. This technology nowadays very familiar and used in large area. Advantages of hydropower: extremely high operating efficiency in hydro turbines and hydro generators, about 90% in total, the maximum efficiency. Short startup and short shutdown time, 3 to 5 minutes from starting to reaching the red output. Able to accommodate rapid fluctuations in power load, able to chance from no load to the related output in about 1 minute. Simple and easy operation and maintenance compared to other power, low operation cost. Climate change through land-based biological climate mitigation activities. Actually, we can use our land for the sinking of carbon dioxide, and we can use it for the production of bioenergy. And these two systems, sink carbon dioxide and bioenergy production, is directly involved with reducing greenhouse gases that are causing of global warming, climate change. So these are the two ways by which we can change, we can mitigate the global warming climate condition. And this involve sink or source management, involve biomass, soil carbon, methane and nitrogen. And this is ecosystem component in sense of bioenergy production, biomass, oil and sugar, and waste. Different project activities, deforestation, deforestation avoidance, improve forest management, reduce or no tillage, biochar, improve water management, and improve flood and manure improve flood, and manure, manganese perception deliver of fertilizer. And benefits impact conservation, deliver of ecosystem activities, non-prominence situations, increase fertility and water retention capacity, reduce water pollution, reduce productivity. These are involved in sinking the carbon dioxide, methane, the greenhouse gas by land-based climate change mitigation. And biomass, electricity, we can use biomass for producing electricity and heat from forest, annual and permanent crop and residues. And these are used also industrial and domestic energy, low efficiency, and the balancing of greenhouse gases. Oil and sugar, ethanol and diesel from food crops, first generation biofuel. We can use liquid fuel for transportation and land competition. Waste, electricity and heat from the industrial process, manure and landfills. No land competition. Promotion of waste productions. Before going to continuing the session, actually, I want to say again, we need a break now. The break time is 30 minutes, and we start again after 30 minutes. Please, I am requesting all the participants, please follow the instruction. I am giving a little small task. I want to get a feedback from you that we can make the training session is two-way communication. When you can give a feedback, this is fruitful of this training. So please cooperate the training. You have to present your assigned task. Actually, after the break, I want to start your presentation. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am very happy to hear this. That I am waiting for 30 minutes. You make a presentation, and we want to see all the presentation. Thank you, and have a break and have a coffee and tea. Okay. Can start or wait?
Recording in progress.
Hello everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Right now we are again come back after our short break. Can you finish your task? Hello dear participants.
No, sir.
So what to do after finishing my topic? You can present. Please, hello everyone. I want to know from your side. Your response is most important for me.
Hello.
Hello.
Mine is finished.
We have 1 more hour.
Okay, I'm ready to
So,
present.
oh, you are ready to present? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just you take more time to preparation. I'm going to finish my slide. After that, I think one by one we uh, see your presentation. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. So you take
Sir,
more time to prepare. Okay, na? You are the first presenter. Hello.
sir,
Okay.
excuse
I'm
me.
the first.
Can you
Just
tell
this,
me what is your name?
yeah, Michael Belgrave from Guyana, just for clarification. The presentation you're looking forward to the case study from last night, the case study that you gave us.
Okay. After my finishing the session, I will conduct your presentation. Okay. Thank
No,
you again.
I'm asking a question, sir.
Okay. What is this?
I'm asking that if the presentation you're talking about that you're gonna take, the reason you're gonna go do after you finish your slide, if it was the case study from last night.
Yes. After my finishing the topic mitigation and adaptation, you
Yeah.
will present your slides.
All right.
Okay.
Permit me to say the information in our country is not readily available. So what we had to do, or what I had to do, is
No
sift.
problem. Just
I
what you collect. You say something about your country.
oh, no
You have a
problem, no
knowledge
problem,
in this sector.
no
You
problem,
know. Okay.
no
Okay. You
problem.
know.
I
Okay.
understand. Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Again, come back everyone. Now I am continuing the mitigation and adaptation. Capture and use landfill and digester gas. Capturing landfill gas to prevent methane from entering the atmosphere and contributing to smoke and climate change, while reducing the diverting waste addressed many landfill challenges. This practice do not prevent landfill from generating methane, a greenhouse gas 21 times more powerful than carbon dioxide over a 100-year time horizon, and a precursor to ozone pollution. Carbon capture and storage. This is the carbon capturing schematic diagram. Carbon capture and storage is a technological process that scrubs carbon dioxide from the emission stream, transports it, and permanently and safely stored it underground. Reducing emissions from energy intensive industries. Carbon capture helped capture 40 million tons of carbon dioxide from 26 operating power and industrial facilities globally in 2020. This is a schematic diagram of possible carbon capture storage system showing the source for which CCS might be relevant transport of carbon dioxide and storage options. Tree planting and care. Tree is a big support for human being. Actually, in our ecosystem, there is a chain of flowing carbon dioxide and oxygen. If we see that human being, we breathe, we took oxygen and we release carbon dioxide every day. We breathe 22,000 times. It is in calculate 15-pound air. So the breathing, we release carbon dioxide. In vice versa, the tree plays a significant role. They use this carbon dioxide in their photosynthesis activities and produce food and oxygen. This oxygen help us a lot. So balancing gradually population increase on this earth's surface, simultaneously the forest degraded, denuded, reduces, but we need to plant tree more and more, and we have to use our small species, small part of land, that we have to plant plants. These plants is the future help. These plants serve us a lot. Today, as the world searches for solution to global climate change, tree planting has become more popular than ever. It's a simple and appealing response to an overwhelming existential crisis, and it makes for easy messaging. Anyone can go out and plant a tree to help restore balance to Earth's climate. But for many large-scale tree planting initiatives, the focus is on the number of new trees that end up in the ground, not on the planting the right trees in the right place or caring for them after planting to ensure they survive. While mitigating climate change is the chief driver of many tree planting initiatives, these projects often have other environmental goals too, like regulating water cycles, halting soil erosion and deforestation, and restoring wildlife habitat. They also often have socioeconomic goals like alleviating poverty and enhancing local community health and livelihoods. Now, I want to share some adaptation process by which we can reduce our greenhouse gas emission, and finally global warming and climate change adaptation. First thing we must do is calculate our footprint. Everyone, we have to know how much carbon dioxide emitted in this atmosphere by my activities, what I'm doing every day. It needs to calculation. Then I can easily understand how much I have to responsible about this issue, because I am also a particular factor. In my activities, I have emit greenhouse gas. So we have to know about the calculating of carbon footprint. People, especially those who can afford it, can use hybrid cars. A big portion of fossil fuel, petroleum, gas, gasoline used in transportation. So this can be shifted by use of hybrid car. Eat low on the food chain. Food chain, yesterday I show how much USA produce animal production and they emit greenhouse gas into the atmosphere, because in the rearing producing and the final product of animal sector, they use a huge amount of methane. The methane is more significant impact on the trapping of solar heat in the atmosphere. So if we consider in this case, this is a good adaptation, because food chain is an important issue. Daily basis, all around the world, if we look through our world, people are eating different pattern of food stuff, but there is a many people all around the world, actually they are survival for this food. So we need a good changes in food adaptation. Use air conditioning and heatless. Actually, this is a big sector. We use air conditioning in our house, in our office, in our clubs, everywhere. We can manage this, adapt this issue. Reduce, recycle, and reuse. These 3R is most important. When we reduce everyone, the greenhouse gas, this combinedly reduce the global warming. Recycle is important, because every waste when we burning, it also emit carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that are harmful for our environment. So recycling is important. And reuse, we have to shift our activities into reuse. We use water, then we have rainwater, we have groundwater. We have to think about our reuse in every aspect. Buy energy efficient products. The products that are energy efficient, that means consume less energy. We have to buy and use this type of product. Drive smart and less. Take care of car. Avoid air travel as much as possible, because globally is last 2 years, what do we see? The air travel almost banned. That's due to COVID pandemic. Many of the countries actually banned this air fly. And what happened? Huge amount of greenhouse gas reduced from the atmosphere. That means no emission, and the climate become faster change in good condition. Plant a tree. Growth on your own. Actually, we need to grow our own food stuff in our periphery. That no need to just run, or we have to collect. If we grow our own food in our own field, that means nowadays green wall, rooftop gardening is very famous and popular. We can use this system in our roof. Water should be used sparingly. Use less hot water. The hotting is a big industry, and it emits huge amount of carbon dioxide. So that we have to shift this hot watering condition. We have to use less hot water. Avoid products with excessive packaging. There is many products that we buy from supermarket or different types of market, and then we have a package, a huge decorated and a huge use of plastic, polythenes and others. And this, we can use this type of packaging. Next one, I have to buy green electricity, that we call renewable electricity. This green electricity, adapt in our daily activities. These activities ensure that the less amount of emission of carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, the greenhouse gases. More teleconference and telecommunication. This is also an important issue. We can adapt. One can replace the light bulbs. Before I showing how the LED light save the energy. Dry the clothes by hanging them on the line. We can dry our clothes into direct sunlight without dryer. So it also adaptation approach. People can use non-toxic household products. Often use the off switch. Actually, sometimes we are not conscious about our activities. If we click our mind that I have to aware about this issue, this is a good adaptation. Choose organic foods that are in season and go local. Don't buy fast fashion. We are in the modern civilization that we are trying to buy modern clothes, modern equipment, modern appliances. This makes more greenhouse gases emission into the atmosphere. By less stuff, people should learn to conserve. Exactly, we have to thinking about conservation. This is a good adaptation. Vote thoughtfully. Yes, I have to give my vote, and this is important. Who help us by saving this atmosphere? I vote them. Read magazines and newspapers online. Nowadays, online all over the world widely spread, and we can replace it by printing books, papers. It is a good adaptation. Use a laptop. Comparatively, the desktop and laptop need less energy. Get an e-reader. Avoid busy roads. Try more holistic remedies. Finally, even though mitigation of climate change is of utmost importance, conservation management must be adapted to climate change. Thank you everyone patiently hearing from the early morning. Right now, I'm grateful to you. Thank you. Now this session is to present your slides. Hello, dear participants.
Hello.
Yeah. This time, actually, if you need 10 minutes, I can give, or if you no need times, so we can start.
I didn't get what did you say?
I want to say this is the final session, today's training. Last day, I gave an assignment that you have to present your country data.
Yes, I'm ready to present.
Okay. Now, then you can share your slide.
Yes.
And you start.
I'm Zahra from Iran.
Thank you. Please carry on.
Okay.
Slide. If you present.
Do you see my slides?
Yes, we see.
I'm sharing. Hello.
Hello.
I can't hear your voice.
Hello.
Okay, just please repeat. I couldn't hear.
Now I say that you can share your slide and you can start your presentation.
Okay, I shared. Did you see my slides?
No, we cannot see.
What about now?
And now
Yeah, we can
it
see your
is.
slides now.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Hello, everybody. I'm Zahra from Iran. And I wasn't aware about the emission of my country. And it just brought sorrow for me because of the vast amount of emission that my country is, uh, especially after the 2000, Iran's emission is just vastly increasing. Okay, in this diagram, I've shown the amount of CO2 emission per capita. As I said, after 2000, it's vastly increasing. Here is the annual amount. Uh, I didn't know what happened here around 1950 in my country that the amount of emission has fallen. But after that, it's increasing, and after 2000, it's increasing rapidly. Here I've shown the percentage of yearly amount of emission, and here again we can see that the amount of emission is increasing. The share of CO2 emission of my country in the world is 2%. In one of your previous yesterday's slides, the name of Iran was among the countries that are emitting more amount of CO2 in the world. Here is the greenhouse gas emissions by sector shown, but the data is not up to date. I couldn't find the up-to-date data. The electricity and heat sector emission is the most. It's also the same diagram. It's a pie chart of the previous bar chart, and power industry is has the most emission, 24%. Okay, just finished.
Thank you so much. So what we see that actually your carbon dioxide, that means greenhouse gas, is mainly comes from electricity and heat, so
Yes.
that you have a chance to get information and uh, to adapt renewable energy for this particular electric and heat system. This is a good chance. I think you get a good message from your slide. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for your nice presentation, information, and good and great. And next, please. Hello.
I suppose the Philippines will be presenting uh, just for
Sorry, I don't understand. I want to say the next come out someone and present like that data.
All
Okay.
right.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sige.
All right. No, you go right
Okay,
here. You
Michael.
were there before me. No, you go right here. I'll wait.
Okay. Thank you. I will be presenting first. Wait. Sorry for the, I suppose our data is yet lacking. I forgot how to present. Listen,
You share your slides.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I already found it. Yeah, okay. Share. Okay, am I audible and is my slide already visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Good day to all of you from the Philippines. We have collated the data that we have gathered. And of course, since we are, the Philippines is 7,000 plus islands, there's a difficulty in collating the data. Now, anyway, this is the 5-year CO2 versus temperature status. Yeah. Okay, we have here the first data that we have just gathered from the internet. And here you are seeing the carbon dioxide emission in Philippines from 2015 to 2019. As you would see, it started from 116.5 metric ton of carbon dioxide has been released in 2015. And as we go on, you would notice that the amount of carbon dioxide emitted in the air is increasing. Oh, how about the temperature? Sorry for the data. We didn't combine the data for the carbon dioxide and the temperature. But you can still see here in this part that the temperature is in this part. So still the temperature is increasing. Of course, there is a peak there. You are observing here that models. We have this this is the observed data. This darker line, this is the observed data until 2020, 2000. So we don't have yet the data. We were looking for that. But can we compare that with the supposedly historical model? So, or for the RCP 8.5 or 4.5. Sorry, there is still an increase in temperature, but why is it that you are seeing here some peaks? Based on the researches, the temperature of the this is still affected by the life life cycle of the sunspot. Of course, that is every 8 years. So that is the reason we are having some peaks. However, we don't have the data minusing that. So sorry for that. But as you can still see, the projection is there is still an increase in temperature based on the data. That is our point. And to give you additional information, we have here the projected annual temperature in the mid-21st century in the Philippines. So this is relative to 1971 to 2000 data. So we have a very, but this was released in 2017. So you will notice here that based on the observed, this is the actual temperature. This is in degrees Celsius. We have here, the darker ones are more than 28 degrees Celsius. And these are the projected annual mean temperature for the nearing 2036 to 2065. So you will notice that there is this increase, relative to this temperature. So that is just the projection for that. So we are just presenting the projections. And of course, we are also including the projected changes in seasonal total rainfall based on the scenario, the RCP 8.5 scenario. So we will have the usual wet test. Why is it that we are including here? Remember, the Philippines is one of the most affected countries or nation in the whole world by the climate change. The increase in temperature not only brought us higher temperature per se, but also the amount of rainfall that is brought by the season favorite, typhoon favorite country, the Philippines. So these are the possible things. Yes, next to that, this is also specifically the observed climate trends in the Philippines due to rising in air temperature. So this is the projection for the past 65 years from 1951 to 2015. So we have the 0.68 degrees Celsius increase in annual mean temperature. So this is the observed one. And we have here sorry. This is the annual maximum temperature anomaly, and this is the annual minimum temperature anomaly. Or I suppose these are reversed. This is the maximum, and this is the annual. So these are just the observed anomaly that on the temperature increase of the Philippines. So there are many factors. You are not just relying on the effect of the amount of greenhouse gases, but also on the life cycle of the sunspot onset. Okay, so we also included here, because of the climate change, the effect of the possible wetting and drying tendency of annual total rainfall in the Philippines. So this, if you could still, sorry, this is the Philippines. I was discussing about that. This is the map of the Philippines. And this, on the upper parts, you will notice when it is blue, these are the parts of central and northern Luzon. So we have here the 40 millimeter per decade. This is the decade rainfall. So you would notice we have a very high annual rainfall. So those which are blue are parts of Eastern Visayas. These are the parts of northern and southwestern sections of Mindanao. And with the lowest part will be the northern part, sections of Luzon. This is the place where we have a drier place. And we have the Western Visayas and the central Mindanao. So these are just geographically affected. That is why we have a variation in the amount of rainfall. And lastly, we have now the increasing and decreasing trends in seasonal rainfall. So we are also including this because it is, shall we say, not directly proportional, but as a great relationship between the amount of temperature. Remember, the higher temperature in the Pacific Ocean will mean stronger typhoon to us. So because we are the favorite place of those typhoons. So you will notice here the trend in millimeter. And these are the variation for different months. So we have here another data. So the increasing number of hot days. Sorry, the data is, forgive me for that. So I suppose those are the things that. Okay, I suppose those are the. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for the team, especially to the peeps and Melissa, of course. And sorry for I forget the others. Thank you very much, sir.
I am also giving you a most thank you that you have present a lot of data and significant data. Actually, this data is important for further policy and other issue making. And next one, please.
I have a question.
Hello.
I have
Hello.
a question.
Yes, you can.
What is the average temperature, yearly average temperature of Philippines? I want to compare with Iran.
Okay. Please answer this one.
I can't hear you.
Please unmute. Dear sir, please.
Thank you very much for that, Sarah, from Philippines, from Iran. Thank you very much for that question. Anyway, we are trying to look for that data. And finally, Melissa, thank you very much, Melissa, for giving the data or the temperature. So last 2015, we have an average temperature of 25.79. 2016, we have 29. This is in degrees Celsius. 29 degrees Celsius. 2017, we have 30. 2018 we have 30. We don't have yet in 2019 the average temperature. So you can see that we have an increasing trend of temperature, average temperature, annual temperature. To compare with that to Iran, sorry, I haven't seen the temperature in Iran. So I suppose yeah.
I don't now. I don't have this information, but I supposed it's 25.
Okay.
In Tehran, it's 25. We have
Wow,
mild winters and somehow hot summers.
Yeah. So that's a very nice place.
Thank you.
Unlike us,
You're welcome.
we have a shall we say extremely hot, 31 degrees Celsius average temperature. So anyway, we are blessed with water, so I suppose we can easily just plunge in water. So however, in our yearly temperatures, we could have a range of 21 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius according to Emmeline. So it does mean we have also cold months and hottest months. During rainy season or dry season, we could reach up to 32 degrees Celsius. During wet seasons, we could have varying temperatures. But by February, we're in the when ice or when the northern hemisphere is already about to approach the summer after the spring, when the ice in China or in the Siberian place is already melting, we are receiving that monsoons. That is why we have cold days that we could have 21-degree average temperature. In reality, some of our places could even reach up to 10 degrees Celsius in higher place, just like in Baguio City, the summer capital of the Philippines. We have lowest temperatures there. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing,
hello, sir.
please.
Okay.
Sir, good afternoon. In addition to the data presented by my colleague from the Philippines, so actually we have two seasons in the country. We have dry season and we have wet season in the country. So the coolest month falls in January. The average temperature in the Philippines raises into 25.5 degrees Celsius. That's from January, and that is the coolest month. While the warmest month occurs in May, and I think that's the start of the summer. Our average temperature reaches up to 28.3 degrees Celsius.
One thing I want to asking you, we see Philippines every year face some natural floods and natural disaster. Have there any connection with global warming involved this issue to climate change in your country?
Possibly, sir, because we really feel, based on observation and based from the data coming from researches, that we really experience increase a warming temperature in the country. So later on, may I present, sir, my presentation.
Thank you, every Filipino participants, for collectively a good presentation. Thank you, everyone. And next, which country, please come up.
I can present, sir, because Philippines is an archipelago, and then it divided into three large islands, and then I'm in Mindanao, and this is the second largest island in the Philippines. So I have also data here in our region. Can I present?
Thank you. I have to give some floor to other country person also, because we are looking to everyone. Please, next group come up.
Okay,
and
sir,
present
thank
your
you.
slide.
All right, good night, sir. Michael Belgrave from Guyana. I am terribly sorry that our data for our country data is not readily available to the citizen. And like I explained to you, we have to request it through our head of our agency, which we did. But what I can do, I can talk about my country, and you can get an idea as to what's happening here. And then when that data is available, I can do the presentation and send it to you if it's via email or however, whichever forum you choose. But Guyana is located in South America. It's the only English-speaking country in South America. Our neighbors are Brazil, Venezuela, and Suriname. Guyana is a name that means a land of many water, and we are the home of the magnificent Kaieteur Falls. I'm not sure if how much of you or how many of you heard of it. Is the largest single drop falls in the world, and we experience only two type of weather, only two type of climate: the sun and rain. And there's no particular season when there's going to be more sun than rain. No, before we had as growing up, we know it as May, June, the June month. That was what we call the May, June rain, and we know July, August was summer. But with the change with the effects of climate change, that May, June, and July, August summer period has shifted. So you experience heavy rainfall in June period when you didn't used to experience no rainfall. Like right now, we have some serious flooding going on. We had 2 months of heavy rainfall. We had some serious flooding going on right now, and we expected to have some more rainfall in July, which was actually back in before was actually the summertime. So we expecting some more than usual rainfall also. So what I can say about the country, so the country has it's 3,000 square miles, and we have a population of estimated population of about 750,000 people. Most of the population live on the coastline of the country, and therefore we have some pristine forests. We were selected by the government of Norway. They give us incentive to maintain the integrity of our forests. So we used to receive funds from the government of Norway to maintain our forests, because they said that our forest was actually used to mitigate greenhouse gases in the environment. That fund has been stopped. I'm not sure for what reason. I think that's a policy issue above my head, but that fund has been stopped recently. But we are not into no renewable or for source of energy. We utilize mainly fossil fuel for generation of electricity and energy. So any form of renewable energy will be something that we will want to adapt at this point in time. One of the things we were looking at, and I spoke of it last night, it was the hydropower plant project that was supposed to be a sustainable or renewable energy source, but that project fell through. I'm not sure if they're going to resuscitate or revive that project. So right now we depend heavily upon greenhouse gases. The data to tell you about our gas emission and our temperature for the last 5 years, I'm still awaiting the data to be released to me.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Michael, for your information for your country. Please come up another group. We have a time limit. Please try to short presentation. There are many
Hi,
groups.
everyone. If you allow me to I will present.
Yes,
Can
yes.
you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I allow you. Please present.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, can you tell me if you see my screen, please?
No.
No.
Yes.
What about now?
Now, okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Hello, everyone. So my name is Marcelo Calispa. I'm talking from another country from South America. In this time, I'm talking about my country, Ecuador. I will present some data that I have obtained from internet, basically. And unfortunately, I don't have the updated data. So I will present just the data that I got. First of all, I would like to mention some emissions, CO2 emissions that from Ecuador just been increasing, but some of the emissions also decrease in some years. I think that is because we have been trying to reduce the amount of fossil fuels in Ecuador and also implement some renewable energies as hydropower, for example. I have data until 2019, but comparing the emissions from Ecuador in million tons from 1970 to 2019, we can see that we increased from 5 million tons to 40.7 million tons in 2019. So I think we have the same trend in all the world. We have been increasing all the CO2 emissions. And I think also this is related with the increase in the population as well. So this is just the CO2 emissions measured in million tons. And I also have the CO2 emissions per capita. And we can also see that in the last few years, in the last 5 years at least, we experienced some increasing as well. And I also would like to present some of the greenhouses emissions by sector in Ecuador. And we can see that the biggest sectors are agriculture, transport, land use, and forestry. And I think it's quite similar for this kind of developing countries. And I would like also mention some data that, for example, according to the Economic Commission for Latin America, Ecuador emits 1.9 metric tons of CO2 per inhabitant, which represents only the 0.1% of all the worldwide emissions. And despite this percentage is really low, the government is trying to change or trying to mitigate and take some actions to do adaptation in this matter. And also in terms of environmental and social well-being. And probably the most important thing here in Ecuador, or the most important issues, is that we have glaciers, like the Andes Asian glaciers. And we worry because the temperature is also increasing. And the problem is most of the cities, we got the water from these kind of glaciers. So a lot of investigation, a lot of research is being doing about how these glaciers are, we are losing these glaciers. So global estimates forecast temperature increasing 1.5 degrees, and it will not change in the next coming 12 years. And also, I would like to mention that the increasing between 1960 and 2006, it was in an average of 0.8 degrees Celsius. What is the consequence of this in Ecuador? This will increase the occurrence of anomalous weather events, and also change in precipitation, change in the sea level and temperature, decrease in glacial cover, which is really important for us, and also the future impacts in our hydroelectric generation. Nowadays, we are having a lot of projects using this kind of technologies, and also vulnerability to floods and landslides. Finally, I would like to mention that we don't have currently the information about how influence the COVID-19 in temperature status and also in the CO2 emissions. So I I try to do it really short, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for your nice
Thank you.
presentation. Please, anyone more? Dear participants, hello, hello,
Hello. Hello, doctor.
please carry on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Sorry for my stable my internet unstable. May I can say slide to you, but let me share my idea to you. Yes.
Not me, everyone. All of us we are same condition. We want to know about each other, our country session, our also world perspective, what happened. Finally, we have make a conclusion. Please carry on.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. For the yearly average maximum and maximum temperature in my country. Oh, let me introduce myself. I'm from Cambodia. Hello.
Please.
Yes. The first I would like to share the main cause that of the temperature in fluctuation in my country. The first is the industrialization that now my country is the developing country and we the more building and also develop the city that is the main cause uh, to the change to the emit the PAT or carbon dioxide in atmosphere. And the second is the deforestation in my country. We have the policy to reduce the deforestation, but we can some part is in our country and the third is the energy consumption. As you know that my country use the energy from Vietnam and from Thailand, but we also use the clean energy like the hydropower plant and power and uh, and power plant to that use the charcoal or gas to build the electric in my country that is the main cause to emit the CO2 and finally is the land use like land use in my country that we has the factor that the change the in my country. Do you hear me clearly?
Yes, yes.
As smoothly, yes. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your.
Can I continue my present?
Actually, we have some time limits because we have to finish within the time this session. I'm thanking you that you try to accumulate many information. Okay, for your
Okay,
nice
thank
information.
you.
I'm thanking you.
Yeah, yes.
Next one, please. I'm looking the last one. Please come up. The last one. Okay. Thank you everyone for your presentation. And finally, 2 days session with global warming, climate change. We are trying to summarize the present situation up to date from the past history. What is the situation of our planet? How it gradually changing in different aspects. And these are termed as global warming, and we found some specific causes, the greenhouse gas effect. And the greenhouse effect mostly happen due to our human activities. And we are the human, we can actually mitigate or adapt it in this situation. And it's not the scenario of Asia, Africa, Europe. It is all around the world. And I hope and I believe that in 2 days consistently we have get some knowledge each other, and we will uh, get feedback in our authority also, that in future from this session we have to make different plans, because almost all the participants are the government officer, university professor, and high officials. So it's my um, comments to you that from this discussion, we will get a clear and complete concept about the situation. We in future we try to work cooperatively, and we will apply our knowledge into our relevant field. And I am very happy to see you, and I am really, you are patiently 2 days uh, observing the training session in Zoom with online platform. I hope in the next days up to finish the training, you will participate uh, effectively, and you will get a good knowledge from this training. And last of all, I want to say, actually, we, the participants, we are trying to, in our daily life, we are trying to less emit greenhouse gas, and we start from right now. And thank you everyone. Thank you very much.